Diary entry. Lauren, age 31, 21 Aurora cycles after episode 1. Con has all but draped herself across Con Vigor, and why wouldn't she? Namesake or not, he devours every moment with the kind of effortless arrogance that dares you to look away. I can already hear her scribbled margins in my head, ink smudged where she lost herself in that scene. No, I won't spoil it. Some surprises are meant to claw their way beneath your skin unannounced. And as for her inexplicable fascination with a velvet trog, God's help me, I'll ignore it, for now. Jon, on the other hand, prowls like a caged beast denied its feast, the hunger for an emoji itching in his fingertips. The air practically hums with it, though I suspect the next clash of steel and fire will smother the urge, at least for a breath or two. And Kyle. I've tried to pry confessions from him. Any glimpse of a crimson flag I might soften before it's carved into permanence. But he's too far gone, lost in the marrow of the world itself. He waves away Con and Rave's sins with a careless, "Who cares, Lauren, they're hot." And I'm trying to find fan art of the Fate Herder, as though it were reasonable diversion. Perhaps it is, perhaps not.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
Welcome back to Between Pages and Friends, a book club podcast hosted by Con and Lauren, two besties who read a lot of books, and Jon and Kyle, their gamer-turned-reader husbands who've agreed to read with them. I'm Con.
I'm Jon.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Lauren. Welcome to episode 3 of the Moonfall series by Sarah A. Parker. Today we're talking through When the Moon Hatched, chapters 31 to 41. This is a book club podcast, meaning there will be no spoilers here for future chapters. So if you've only read through chapter 41, this is a safe space to try and figure out what the heck is going on while we discuss.
Before we start, it behooves us to give a content warning. When the Moon Hatched is rated for audiences 18 and up, so we will be talking through direct quotes and themes from this book, meaning our episodes are also best suited for adults. And here's a segue. Let's be honest, you're already one of us. The only question is, what kind of bestie are you?
I was really confused on what that was typed out. That was better than what I imagined. Amazing. Okay, sorry.
Oh my God. All right. The only question is, what kind of bestie are you? For $5 a month, join the Book Bestie tier and pull up a chair in our Discord. We've got group chats, monthly book talks, and live events waiting with your name on them. Or if you're ready to claim full found family status, $10 a month unlocks everything above, plus early ad-free episodes, merch discounts, and the chance to steer the ship with voting power. No pressure, but remember, when you're here, you're family.
All of this wouldn't be possible without the amazing friends we've made since the start, or the ratings and reviews you give us, like this 5-star review on Apple Podcasts from our new bestie in Germany, RZP69, titled "Love This Podcast." I absolutely love this podcast. During my SJM journey, I was looking for something spoiler-free and fun, and reading Throne of Glass alongside you was the perfect match. I laughed, I theorized, and I felt totally part of the journey. Now I'm rereading Fourth Wing with you, and it's just as amazing. Honestly, it feels so rewarding to hear the boys enjoying it too. I'm weirdly proud of them. As an English teacher in Germany, this podcast has become my very own English book club. I adore every minute of it. Thanks for making reading even more magical. Thank you, RZP69.
Thank you.
Yes, Dankeschön.
So fun. Okay. Welcome back to Con's Declassified Fantasy Pronunciation Guide, the part of the show where we highlight all the new names and places mentioned in this chapter section. I will once again be calling in my trusty lore expert, Lauren, for a few glossary checks, so let's get into it. In places, we have Bothame, a neutral city where the Tri-Council resides, Dom, the capital of the Burn, and the River Acht. In characters, we have the Jacol clan, where Con spent most of his adolescence as a warrior. Orva, the fallen saber-scythe moon. Kolu, the Jacol clan's name for Rave. Fate Hada, the Fate Herder. I would love a glossary check on this one if there's some that you could share, Lauren. This was cool.
Yeah, so the glossary is basically what we already have in the story, and it just explains that it is a large silver feline-like creature that is more legend than reality. Those who have seen it are often considered crazy or delusional, boasting stories about the beast nudging them to make a different decision than the one they'd intended. So kind of what we already heard in the story.
Are we thinking like a, like a jungle cat type of thing?
I don't know.
And in my head, it's
Perhaps.
like...
Are we talking about a jungle cat type of...
Maybe there is fan art of this. I'll have to look it up.
I found a TikTok with some like AI generated art. It looks just like a white lion, but I have a feeling it's more fantastical. I don't
For
see
some
any
reason in my
actual
head it was
drawn
like
art.
bigger than what you would expect. Like a very big.
Yeah.
I must not have caught the feline aspect of it. I was picturing like, I guess something more similar to, what are the things that she sees when she walks into their encampment? Fawny
Dogs.
calls?
Oh.
Something more like those, like something with wings, more similar, I guess, to like a dragon.
This
I-
first
I did
picture
not like
kind
the
of
feline.
giving that weird cat from K-pop Demon Hunters. The one that
Nice. Oh, okay.
Derpy?
yeah, it's kind
Okay.
of giving that energy.
I could see that. Yeah.
This is just a random cat tattoo that came up, but it's that blue
Yep,
color.
that's all that same one.
Oh, well,
Okay,
now all I'm
alright.
going to picture when I think of the Fate Herder
the
is
K-pop.
Derpy.
Isn't that kind of though? It's like nudging
Okay.
her and giving her that little note. It's doing something that is outside of what she would
It's
normally do. So that is
It's
the
knocking
Fate
over
Herder.
pots. And
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
here for
cool,
it.
Thank you for...
I was trying to see if I could find the initial description. A strong, sturdy feline with a tufted tail and flowing mane that tangles with the wind.
Oh.
This is, I
Okay.
would assume, the TikTok Kyle saw, where it's a big scary
It is.
kitty cat.
Ooh, okay. That's sweet. I like that a lot.
Oh, that is sweet.
It was like a mix between like a bobcat and like a something.
That tiger from Zootopia. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's,
Okay, I sent that picture in our group
Sweet.
chat, and then I will make sure to drop it in the Discord chat
That's dope.
for this week's episode when
that.
it drops.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Continue.
All right. Lastly, in characters, we have Saiza, one of the females from the Jokol clan. Oa and Oai, king and queen of the Jokol clan. And then the Soul, the one who drew the foretelling of Kolu. And then in world building, we have Cannet Root, a vegetable Con pulls from the ground to make soup. The Tuka trial is the battle that we are currently right in the middle of. And then Malmer was mentioned a few times in this section, and Lauren's got a glossary check for that as well.
Yeah, a Malmer is a hand-carved pendant that those in the warrior clans of the Baltanic Plains offer someone when they are courting them. They are often made from things like dragon scale, bone, copper, or stone.
Sick.
This makes me excited. Okay. And then lastly is the Wild Grook. This is a great... I didn't need to roll the R that much.
Do it again. That was cool.
This is great. Definitely fits the vibe.
Okay, we'll just keep it. The Wild Grook is a great tusked beast that is almost impossible to bring down. And that's all we've got for you today. This is our shortest pronunciation guide so far. So I'm going to turn it over to Juan with a recap.
Thanks, Queen Kwan. We start off this week with a diary entry from Elowen, now sporting the diadem, reflecting on the quote-unquote committal where her parents were burned up on a pyre, and then come Hadion's turn, witnessing Illum scoop him up, soar to the sky, tucking him under her wing and solidifying. And shout out to Con for calling it early here. We find out that this moon was called Hayes Perch. Nice work.
Cute.
Then we learn that she will no longer be queen unless bound to someone who is at least a tribead, and her fate rests with the Tri-Council. Switching over to Rave and Khan, making their way to Dom. Rave is still trying to figure him out despite everything she was told and has heard about the Vagor Kings being tyrants and bad dudes. They swing by a pool and waterfall to bathe because Rave stinks. Some good banter here between the two. Rave trying to figure out how she's going to get out of her bindings. She notices the massive tattoo covering Khan's back amidst the scars, a constellation of moons, as she quickly realizes it's almost the exact picture of her view from her window at home. home. Interesting. She notices a big silver moon next to Hay's perch and confirms that it is the one that fell. She also notices a pendant Con is wearing, a saber scythe, and a moon plume locked in an embrace. Interesting. And finally, notices burns down one leg. Then he takes the pin out of her shoulder as he tells her some of his own history. Being only a dual bead, his father sent him to the Jokul clan in these mountains and the crater formed by Orva. When he was an adolescent, he eventually killed his father, and he kind of goes on to explain that his father did something quote-unquote unforgivable, assuming it had something to do with the death of the one he loved, which we discover was Elowen. Oh my god. On her way back to Reigen with him, she picks up a saber scythe scale nesting in the dirt and hides it in her bindings. Some fun creature building here too, as we see Con has removed a tick from Reigen and he squishes it. Just thought that was kind of fun. They make their way to the small house after Con loads her up.
Yeah, he does.
Whoa, hey.
With vegetables for food, you guys. Chill out.
Really?
I'm not interested
Jeez.
anymore.
All right.
Gross.
More great banter. As he starts to prepare some soup, she asks him what his place is as he replies, Ma's retreat. And she oddly feels some sort of way about being here since she's not family. She comments that she has nothing to exchange for the hospitality, and Con says that her name will do. And after a moment, she just blurts out, Rave, although another name almost rushes to escape, quote-unquote, Firelark. Oh, okay. Even more great banter. We learn that there have only been 3 documented moonfalls, a young saber scythe that fell in the Botanic Plains, a massive molten maw, presumably fallen in the Fade based on her description here, took out part of the wall in the Fade, and a moon plume, the first to fall in at least 1,000,000 phases. It had shone bright before falling and blasting a city-sized crater in the shade. She notes that she's seen shards of it before in a place where she has been quote-unquote remade several times. Okay. While the soup is cooking, he makes some blades from Reigen's scales, Rave looking on and observing. He ladles out some soup for both of them, and she struggles to get a scoop with her bindings, dropping her spoon. He goes to pick it up for her, placing a hand on her shoulder, and she bites him. Really? He slams her up against the wall and basically says, hey, this would be a lot easier if you chill the F out and just eat your creator's damn soup. She does chill out, eventually thanking him, and she finally takes a bite, letting out a moan, after which Con promptly bursts out in laughter, leading her to roar up as well, spitting out her soup in a scene that is probably one of the most awkward things that I've ever read on page. He gently cleans up her face and they go to bed. Oh, interesting reactions there.
That's rude.
It was super awkward. It was super awkward.
Soup or awkward?
Soup or awkward.
Soup sock.
Soup sock.
It was a bit awkward. Anyway.
It was good soup.
You're a bit awkward.
Okay. He gently cleans up her face and they go to bed. Rave up in the bedroom, Con taking a spot on the recliner. Rave takes this opportunity to cut herself free to try and escape. She makes it down to the door, but Con's warning of hunting her down echoes through her mind and she realizes that she's got to kill him. She's poised on top of him when she second guesses herself and he wakes up, his gaze piercing through her as all reason and sense and motivation goes out the window. And he serves up a single question. What do you need, Moonbeam? Sorry, I was gonna do the voice again. What do you need, Moonbeam? I don't know why that's my voice for him right now.
He's a deep Southern gentleman.
I like it.
Is that your Babe Bluey voice?
No, it's
Yeah,
actually
babe.
no, kind of. I guess.
What do
I
you
don't know.
need, Moonbeam?
What do you need, babe? And he serves up a single question. What do you need, Moonbeam? Thus kicks off a series of events and our series debut of Emoji almost erotica. Quote, if he whips it out, we got to talk about.
Oh my god.
End quote.
Amazing.
Are
That's
you
kinda-
quoting the official
good-
laws of
good
emoji?
tagline.
I'm
Is
quote.
there
Yes.
a book of emoji erotica?
Yes. That's my a justification for having, even though there was no, all right. Pants, hand, finger pointing down, question mark, check mark, chest pawn, pulsing heart, finger pointing up, lightning bolt, parentheses, 2% milk, in parentheses. The little swirly guy, a crab, frisbee, chest pawn, the little card. Oh my god. The little, it's like a gardening person, like a gardener.
Kyle
I forget what that one is. I'm going to have to relook that one up. I forget what it was. A little gardener, thought bubble, flower. Oh, God. Melty face, flip-flop, eggplant, side eye, single, like big eye, butter, question mark, tent, fist, the little barber pole, parentheses, X with the big eye, single eye in parentheses, question mark, check mark, the movie set clapboard, waving, sleepy Z's, like shocked face, girl running. And that's this week's and When the Moon Hatched series debut of Emoji, almost erotica.
Amazing.
I was always excited to see new emojis enter the field.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Oh, yeah.
really
Oh,
getting
my God.
creative with this one. Yeah.
Well, we all had
Good
to be
luck.
satisfied somewhere.
Okay, we'll get to that later. Okay. I was going to wish people good luck on the butter and maybe the 2% milk, but that one might be easy, depending on... Anyway, whatever. Someone grab a towel, because even I'm wet. Rave back in her room, basically questioning her existence and what the hell just happened. Nothing like a sexually deprived FMC to drive the plot forward. Am I right, Lauren?
Oh, yep.
Anyway, she spies a window in her room and barely makes it through and down the trellis. Her feet hit the mud and she makes her way to the jungle path, getting a flash of memory from another escape of hers in the snow. Interesting. She decides to try and climb down to the pool that they had stopped at before, now gushing over from the storm, and we are not lost on the sexual innuendos here, Sarah. As she starts to descend, she sees birds spook in motion from the jungle and gets knocked out. Here we move into a diary entry from Elowen. Guards came for her while she was sleeping, even shooting her with an iron pin. She's led outside to molten malls, creating a ward around Erythia. The council apparently chose Tyroth Vagor as her bind, and she screams and fights. She gets knocked out, comes to on the back of a dragon, her dragon Slatra trying to follow, but there's a team of molten malls like blocking her advance. She recalls being visited by the Fades Queen, who offered to remove the pin, getting some insight here into some of the Vagor's quote-unquote character, mentioning that Kadok basically used her to conceive a child, forcing them to bind in order to unite the burn and the fade. Interesting little backstory and history there. Elowen notes that she took off her veil and let the queen see her face as the queen continued to mend her wounds. We're back to Rave, hanging tight to a tree stump and being washed down river. As some dudes on the shore track her as she goes, she eventually gets knocked off and one of them dives in to save her and brings her to shore. As she's throwing up, she notices that they have similar tattoos to Con, remembering his words and realizes that she has stumbled onto the Jokul clan. She's about to go on her way and jump back into the river when motion catches her eye. The two males stare wide-eyed as a shape appears out of nowhere on the opposite bank. It jumps over at her and just snarls as the two males speak in their language. She doesn't really know what's going on, but Rave is able to make out two words, a name, Fate Herder. She tries to go around, but the creature growls back. She tries to make a break for it, but it catches her and herds her back to the warriors. Rave finally concedes and follows the warriors. They make their way to a camp of sorts made out of a carcass of a dragon, basically. As they walk through the encampment, they begin to call her Kolu, and people start like kneeling and crying out and all that. They make it to an enclosed space with two thrones, pretty much everyone having followed them in here. There's a male and a female on each respective throne. They try to ask her some questions, but she still can't really understand. Eventually, another female makes her way in, eyes milky white, and claims again that she is Kolu amidst some other things. Victorious yells erupt as the crowd becomes a bustle of motion. All the while, the Fate Herder just curls up and falls asleep. Great. Two big dudes saunter in with some other creature shortly after, which they promptly kill and let it bleed out, using that as the quote-unquote cleansing element. Finally, someone who speaks English or their language tells her that they have to cleanse her body, tells her a little bit about what seems to be some kind of prophecy of their people, that the Fate Herder would bring her to them and that her offspring would tether the moons to the sky, and that she will undergo some type of trial. They redress her, paint her up in blood, and she's herded to where she quickly realizes is Orva's crater. There are tents dotted around the edge, weapon racks, other things available, and it dawns on her this is a battle ring, y'all. The smart one asks if she wants to honor Orva and gives Rave a flower, pushing through one of the tents and coming face to face with the fallen saber scythe, Orva, still curled up into a ball. This is crazy. She gets some emotional prompting here as she looks upon him and decides to listen and respect it. She settles into her tent for whatever's about to happen. The two big guys come in and offer their pendants, their malmer. They head into the ring and start to battle it out. Rave, still confused, asks the smart lady what exactly is going on, and now we learn that they are fighting for the honor of Rave herself and to be bound and make a bunch of Joku warrior babies. And just as the realization sets in, Hawk comes out the victor. I hope his last name isn't Tui. As he brings over the other guy's head, plops it down in front of her, and goes to place his malmer over her head, and she headbutts him in the face, lol, as Rave claims that she will be fighting for herself. Oh, we have a story, folks. Here we go. Her request is translated to the king and queen, and they reply that if the fate herder allows her to get into the ring, then it's fair game, which is exactly what happens, and she fights Honk for her own honor. She starts off pretty well, mostly letting him attack her, getting in the first few blows, even getting a little unsolicited help from Claude. She nearly slices his throat, but he's just too brawny. Then he pulls out a freaking snake from like I don't even know. The way I read it, it sounded like he literally pulled it out from his crotch. I don't really know. As she charges him, another slash, but getting bit by said snake as well. The poison sets in fast, making her dizzy and fumbling around. Using his momentum against him, she eventually gets the advantage of his back and chokes him out. Poison still working its way through her, she stumbles for her weapon to cut off Honk's head, and as she finally finds her weapon that isn't a mirage, he's conscious again and cracks her upside the head. He tries to get her to yield several times as she keeps fighting, determined to die before submitting. When a roar cleaves the air, Raigan sliming down into the crater, Con leaping off and down into the sand, his own malmer displayed on a bare chest, Lau in a right fit of rage, y'all. Apparently trying to use Boulder, which honestly, I hadn't realized that before. Anyway. And she watches Con stalk forward to the male warrior, intent on claiming the right to bind with her. God damn, son!
Yeah, he does.
What a cliffhanger.
Right. We sure know how to pick them. Let's dive into diary entry, blah, 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 blah. There's not a number here. Diary entry, Eloin Yvonne, age 18 phases, 5,039 phases after stone. That's the title of the chapter.
Chapter 31.
So graceful. So graceful. But yeah, so I had the first note here, really just exclaiming when we find out that, you know,
I was right.
Illum scooped up Hadeon and went up and solidified, and I was like, holy shirt. It was crazy.
I'm excited to be right, but I was really sad about it also.
I know.
This
It is so sad.
I think the
Really
crazy
is.
part is that like Hadeon is in the moon too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's a regular thing. It sounded like that was
No.
abnormal. So I guess he's still up there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The Man in the Moon?
Yeah.
It is.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's where that song comes from. That's
Wow.
Is that a
That's
song?
why they wrote it.
Makes so much sense.
No, I don't know. That was just
It's called Hayes' Song, actually.
Yeah.
Ultimate title.
it. Duh.
Oh, I did have a quick note in this chapter that in Rave's so firmly in my headspace that they are the
is.
same person.
Yep.
In Eloin's POV, it says, until Slatra came, settled beside me, and curled her tail into a fluffy nest, I fell asleep within. And that triggered in my head, this was how Rave woke up in chapter 17. It said, I'm immersed in an icy sleep that's soft like a wispy tail bound around my body, drifting within the tide of nothingness. Further solidifying my theory that Rave is Eloin and the other is Slatra. That's where I'm at.
Wow.
This is one of my little
Solidifying like the moon.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Oh, yes.
calcifying my
Yeah.
theory. if you will.
Calcifying my theory. Here for that.
My next note is she's kind of given some info here about like how she can't be queen unless she's bound to somebody like specific with the whole beaded thing. But it says the fold of Erythia won't accept a queen so weakened by the ether stone unless I'm bound with someone who can wield more than 2 elemental songs. And even so, I'm not yet old enough to rule. And we get a little insight on that as well. But my thought here was, I guess the diadem still needs to always be worn by someone. Like, I thought it was kind of weird that someone needs to be wearing it, but not the queen. I don't know why. I just thought that was odd. Although I guess we get that, like we see that from Kazari, because Kazari is technically not the queen, but she's wearing it. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
I think with your theory that comes up later, though, it might make more sense. Because I also
I'm glad you're making that connection, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think I typed it in here.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay.
She do be calcifying.
Yeah, she's
No.
calcifying a lot of theories.
There's
out
something
there.
there.
My only highlight here that wasn't already stuff that you guys had mentioned was just about poor Elowen and like her life. Like obviously there weren't things like 100% perfect. Like she had to go through the whole thing to even get their dragons, and obviously all of Hadion's stuff that he was going through and whatever. But like her parents were so kind to her and so protective, and now it's just like literally all gone to crap with the fact that like now she can't even attend this tri-council meeting to speak for herself because princesses are to remain mute and veiled in public until their binding ceremony. And it says something that her parents never enforced, but they're not here anymore. So it's just really sad that she's like gone from living like a generally normal-ish life, obviously with its own struggles and stuff, to like complete flip and horrible and have no control over anything. No one really looking out for her. They're just kind of using her. So
It's
really
almost
sad.
like it is sad. And I was thinking about that too, where it says their mom and pa never enforced it, but it's not like they even passively enforced it, because there were times where they were talking and they were like, hey, watch your mouth, you know, you're a princess, you shouldn't be saying shit and stuff. But they could have easily punished her for that, but it was still very lax. So it does suck that she lost it.
Yeah, for sure.
If Elowen and Rave are the same person, though, that does make it even cooler that later in this section, Rave is like, I'm fighting for myself. Chickens are going to do it for me.
That takes us into chapter 32, another Rave chapter. Yes. And she mentions here that the Fade King and his guild of nobles believe her dead. It says presumably in her point of view. And I was like, I feel like this is a pretty poor assumption, seeing as how the queen seemed to be trying to save her and clearly recognized her. Like, I don't know. I guess the guild wouldn't necessarily know because of that. But I have to imagine that other people saw the queen recognize her. I don't know. I just thought this was like interesting that she would go away from that situation being like, everybody thinks I'm dead, when the frickin' queen clearly recognized her.
I mean, yeah, and the queen was like screaming about it, but also Ragan came up and just looked like he swallowed her whole. Like he just took up the whole.
That's true. Yeah.
Took the whole post and everything. Like,
Yeah.
Presuming, not assuming. So that's an important distinction to me.
She's assuming before
Well,
the pre.
never assume before the pre. Come on, guys.
okay.
Well, because presume means like there's some evidence. It's
Yeah.
not like a total, like how Con was saying that
Yes.
he came up with her and was like, oh, she's dead. So there is a slight chance that people could believe it at
I'm
least.
pretty sure that's
right.
exactly the way they said it too.
And then Caddock came out and he was like,
Yep.
good news.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's a whole band in the background. She's
Banners.
dead.
My
Whole town
next
started
note.
singing.
Yeah. Everybody in the Coliseum.
How do you all know
Eruption
these words?
song.
There's like one guy in there. It's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
It's a whole flash mob.
My next note, I had to call this out because I thought this might be some foreshadowing for future, but this is when they are still on Raigan. They're still flying in the air, and he points out the river, but then she sees the odd golden worm-like creature slithering through the dirt, leaving a wiggly trail. And I was like, what is this? I feel like we're gonna maybe run into this later. It's just a giant
I thought we did.
earthworm.
Yep,
I
just
thought
like
this
that.
was the thing that bit her.
The snake?
I thought this
bit
was
her?
the thing that Hawk like threw at her that bit her. Honk.
She
if
wouldn't
you
have
will.
seen a tiny little snake from
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
This was like
way up in the...
Yeah.
This
Well,
is like
yeah.
a massive, like, dune worm
yeah.
type of thing.
But is this so? I want to know if this creature is called an oct. That's what the river's named after, because they didn't actually say that. But I was
That's true.
assuming based on the context clues here. Do we know? Can we get a glossary check?
To be perfect. Okay,
There's no
first of all,
glossary on ox.
yeah,
Oh.
no glossary in
damn
that.
it, sure.
Yeah, you're right. I checked earlier too, but I will say it wasn't until now that maybe I'm realizing that I envisioned this wrong. Was it described as like a giant worm, or was it multiple little worms? Because I was picturing like the little James and the Giant Peach maggots that are really tiny and they crawl everywhere.
I don't know.
That's fine.
I think it's just this. Are you talking about in this instance where she like sees it?
where she sees it now. Was it one
Yeah.
worm, or was it I thought it was multiple
assuming it
little
was
gold
just
worms.
one.
The odd golden worm-like creature slithering through the dirt, leaving a wiggly trail.
Just one then.
Does it mean the one odd golden, or like, you know how
The rest
people
were
say
normal
like,
golden
oh, the odd like
worms. There's just one freak down there.
one free.
All right, well that's my bad. I was not envisioning it as a large thing until now. Then
Well, so like, hold on. What did he throw at her then?
a snake. He pulled
He threw
a snake out of his
that
boot.
apparently came out of his crotch, according to John. I thought it was just in his pocket, but you know.
I thought so
Good
too.
thing you grabbed the right one. Whoops.
I mean, that's what the whole challenge is for. So, you know. No, I don't think it was this. I didn't even think it was like named after the river, but because they always like reference the river as like a blue ribbon is how it's like referenced multiple times.
Right.
So I guess I didn't connect it to a creature, but
It just seemed odd that she didn't name what the thing was, but it was like in that same paragraph where they were talking about the river. So that I think that's the only reason I assumed that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like she was just observing things because he pointed out the river specifically, and while she was looking at the river, she noticed this thing.
and he had to name all the creatures to her from the previous chapter section too. So it's not like she's like super familiar with
That's true. She may
all the
not
things
even-
around here. She's never been to Dom or whatever. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess
Yeah, sure she hasn't.
that's a golden.
the wink though, so good.
So I don't know why in my head I thought these were the same thing, but that says it's a golden worm-like creature. But the description of what he threw at her is a small hissing serpent. And I, for some reason, I was
sneaky
like,
snake.
"Oh, it's the thing,
The thing from the river. Yeah, right,
the
right.
thing from before."
That
Yeah, sure.
ginormous thing that they could see
Yeah.
from the sky.
Just out of
Oh my gosh.
Nobody saw it.
That's gotta be illegal. Ref, call him out.
Such an Alaskan bullworm.
And it only took a tiny bite.
Just a little nibble.
A nibble.
Just one tooth. It just like
Yeah. That's all it
rows
takes
of teeth
sometimes.
just hurt.
One tooth is all it takes.
People are just like, yeah,
Move
classic
on.
hawk move. Pulling out the Alaskan bullworm again.
Boy, this was a
Every
tangent.
time. Okay.
Oh, my word.
Next note. I was just excited that we got a cool change of scenery. And so I put in the little description that says scorched earth gives way to lush russet jungle. The heavily vegetated mountains before us so large and vast they make Raigun feel like a pinprick in comparison. So I was excited coming into this after we've seen like a couple of different sort of landscape so far, but this was fun. This was a new one. And then I loved like all the banter between Con and Rave in this whole section, but this part where Con says, "Your hips are sharp," and Rave says, "I'll show you something sharp." I just wrote that sounds like something I would say because I used to do that to John all the time.
Well, and then his response to that is, "Every word that comes out of your mouth is sharp, moonbeam. I'm half dead already, bleeding out at your feet. Can't you see?" I'm like, oh, God.
God.
Yeah. You're so lost for her.
And that just, my next note was really just condensing all the other notes that I had in this section because I just said I could not stop giggling through this entire chapter. Like the scene where he like throws her into the water and then she's like flailing around and then realizes she could just stand up and he like throws the soap at her and like a whole back and forth. I was just giggling. So I just decided to condense all of them into this one fangirl moment. And I put the gif of Nick and Jess from New Girl freaking out about seeing Prince.
Yeah. And Nick like passes out.
Yeah, that's me in this section at Convegor. So
Valid.
thank you.
Yep. Well, and then whenever he's like throwing the soap at her and stuff, it says, "Failing to muster any more words to wield, I poke my tongue out at him instead. He returns the gesture to me, and the corner of my mouth threatens to lift. The king just stuck his tongue out at me." It's so funny. Their banter, and they're just like, I don't know, the whole bit. It's just so good.
Sort of going along with what they say even to themselves on learning that the water they're bathing in has healing properties. Rave's inner monologue just says, "Well, that's handy." And I was like, I feel such an inner kinship to her inner thoughts, like especially when they like sort of break the fourth wall and notice like what is and isn't convenient about her story. Like more of that too with like the fate herder later on, where I was like, oh yeah, well, what are you gonna do? You gotta go to your story. But
You gotta go do your story.
yeah.
Oh, that's That's funny. Oh, this next part was my absolute freak out about Con having moons tattooed all over him, including Hayes' perch, which made me so emotional because Rave was so emotional about it and has no idea why. And then I was all caps freaking out about him having her moon tattooed on him. I'm calling it her moon. That's where my head is at. But the moon that had fallen, that he has that moon tattooed on him as well. And I was losing my mind. And John walked into the room while I was reading this section and he was looking at me like I was a crazy person because I was reading in bed and John came in to get ready for bed and I was like giggling.
Okay.
And then my jaw was on the floor and then I was like, like,
Is this where you're like sitting up? Yeah. You like sat up all quick and stuff. Oh, okay, yeah, it was funny.
Been there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then Con has this carving of a saber scythe and a moon plume locked in an embrace around his neck. And I'm guessing this is for like the Ballad of the Fallen Moon ? But also his dragon is a saber scythe and Elowen's was a moon plume. And while his saber scythe is not the one from the ballad, their dragons could totally have been mates or something. So I'm still on board for that. But either way, this is very cute on him. This is very cute of him to wear on his little leather necklace.
I'm sure it's cute on him as well.
Yeah, very cute on him. Goes really well with his tattoos.
Sure.
And I think I have a note about this later, but because of the whole like courtship thing, I'm hoping this means that Rave gets to wear it at some point because that's really cute too. Really just fangirling over everything in this chapter. So, this was a quick reference back to the diary entry that John pointed out. Con says in this chapter that his pa sent him off to be a warrior when he was 9 after discovering he could only hear Ignos and Boulder. I'm guessing this was why he wasn't the one that... What was the Vagor's name? Their dad?
Is that like Austern?
Austern, right? I think you're right. Anyway, I'm guessing this was why Austern tried to marry Tyroth to Elowen and not Con, because he was saying that whoever married Elowen had to have more than 2 elemental songs or whatever. So that was just a little connection there. And then he freaking said Elowen's name, and I was losing my mind about this too, and John was already asleep, and I had to be very quiet.
Did she succeed, John?
I'm pretty sure I was passed out either way. So
You were completely passed out, but I was freaking out, and I put in all caps, "This is not a fucking drill," in my notes. Because he says, and I quote, "Because I was mourning someone I loved very much, I discovered my pa had done something unforgivable, and I took her revenge because I thought she no longer could. Now I have regrets." And Rave says, "What was her name?" And he says, "Elowen." And I'm screaming internally, of course, because I was trying to be respectful, but screaming.
And then she asks him what happened to her, and he replies, "She died." And it was at this moment I just wrote, "My gosh, if she is Elowen, this is going to be crazy."
And I said, "If."
We're going through it over here.
Yeah, clearly.
Hey, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it's all part of the journey.
During all of this, too, like this whole conversation that they're having, he is helping her wounds. And the descriptions of the pain healing process she goes through during that scene are very well written. So I just wanted to acknowledge them, from like the changes in her dialogue and how it's written, how she's talking, and how her pain is described. Specifically, there is a line where after he yanks the pin free, that she says, "He must have just siphoned out half my skeleton through that tiny hole." And I was like, yeah, that was written in a way that I felt it. Like that.
Yeah.
Sounds painful.
All right, that takes us to chapter 33, another Rave chapter. And my notes here is when, it says Con and Rave approach this little house in the jungle, and in Rave's POV it says, "Most of all, I wonder why just looking at it makes the backs of my eyes sting. Blisters of emotion, I pop faster than Con popped that tick." And I was like, probably because you built it together. Yes.
What?
Yes.
You guys are serious. You guys have just decided it is fact at this point.
Yeah, obviously they did.
I mean, I feel like I'm making sure this isn't, somebody else doesn't have a note on that. But like when she makes a comment about the butcher thing.
Yeah, I have that in here.
She's like, it's a little wonky or something like that. And he's like,
Yeah, that it's like oddly shaped.
Probably because she loved it before, or she was the one that built it. Bam!
Bam.
My goodness.
Wow.
Call me Emerald the Chef. Bam!
You guys
Speaking of being a chef, Con is giving her all these veggies to prepare for a meal.
Yeah.
And sort of stacks them up in her arms so that like she can't even see over the stack. And he just goes, "Follow me." And Rave, with her vision blocked by the veggies, is just like, "How?" And he just says, "Tether yourself to the alluring tone of my voice." And I was like, that's just Monsters, Inc. Follow the sultry sound of my voice.
Yeah.
This and the whole snake in the boot situation, I feel like maybe she just had it on in the background when she was writing. Her kids
my
are
God.
watching Monsters, Inc. and Toys R Us. She's like, "Oh, yeah, snake in the
Not a
boot.
bad
That's good."
idea.
That's good. That's good. Had some Pixar films on. Wow.
I love it.
This is more of, I guess, mine and John's calcified theories about this. When Rave is like hesitant to go into, how did you say it? Ma's retreat.
Ma's retreat.
Thank you. When Rave's hesitant to go inside and she says, "I'm not family." And then it says, Con's coarse growl fills the space so abruptly I jolt, stare whipping back to him as he says, "Get in the dwelling, prisoner 73, or you'll miss out on this meal." But because she says, "I'm not family," and he reacts like that, I was like, yes, you are, girlfriend. You are family.
When you hear your family.
That's right.
Have a breadstick.
Their own personal Olive Garden.
He did unlimited soup and breadsticks. That's
They're bottomless.
They were bottomless at one point. You are right about that.
Heyo. She did see a breadstick, if you know what I mean.
Bottomless. Whoa. I was just about to say they didn't have any bread, but somebody was sporting a loaf. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Well, I don't know about
Face
that
you
one.
made after you said
I
that.
don't know if that translates.
Sorry.
Oh, wow, a loaf. Dang. Lucky Rave.
Excuse me. Thanks. All right.
Wow.
Well, then Con asks for Rave's name, and his face drains of color when she says Rave, and he asks, "Just Rave?" And it says, quote, "Another name sizzles through my soul like a burning scream. Firelark, firelark, firelark." I'm assuming almost like whatever that presence is, like under the lake, maybe like wanted to say it. She was like trying to get her to say it. And she just eventually just says, "Just Rave," stuffing the other down far away. And then in italics, it says gone. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
I want to know if this was Elowen's name for Con, like how he calls her Moonbeam.
Yes.
Okay, great. Settled.
Calcified.
Move on.
Put it in the sky.
Put it in the sky. And then when they're wrong, they just fall.
Send her up.
We'll see if you're right when it crashes down.
Well, is like a fire lark supposed to be like a parchment lark? How there's like little
Oh, a
baby
lark
Tell
that
us.
leave messages. And then, John, I don't know.
I just thought of it as like a lark is a bird,
Don't
and
you,
I
though?
guess they have different kinds of larks: parchment, fire, rock, maybe.
God, you're snorting.
Yeah.
A rock lark.
A rock lark.
But like a fire
They're not
lark
airborne very often.
could be
Yeah,
like
the
when-
flightless larks.
Oh my God, guys.
This is
No, a fire lark could be like when Sirius Black talks to Harry through the fire and his like little face appears in the ashes or whatever.
Diagonally.
Exactly.
If a flaming bird came down and turned into a friend or family member talking to me, I'd freak the hell out. Like it just crashed.
Maybe
I was
that's
like,
normal
"I have a
in
message
this
for
world.
you. Please just send a parchment lark next time."
You almost killed me. That might be a fun little game to play for us. Like, see how many. Sorry, I'm like jumping.
Turn into a
behind.
firebird?
No,
You
no.
send messages to each other via paper
An
airplane.
explosive message to your wife at the supermarket. Don't
we've-
forget bread.
We've talked about
Don't
how
forget the loaf.
we have so many theories, and I love that you said they've like calcified something about like how many moons can we keep calcified or something, and how many
Yeah.
moonfalls will
different
we
theories.
experience across
Yeah.
the
I'm
book?
here for that. We should start writing them down.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cute.
All right.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
For this
Moon,
episode.
moon count.
Moon count.
Moonwatch.
Moon. Yes.
I like that. I need to get a tissue for my eyes because my makeup is running it.
You better catch
go
it.
Catch it. Shut up. Oh my God.
Good stuff.
We are in the third chapter of this chapter section.
It's been an hour. Oh my God. Everybody, we need to speed it up.
Part
We'll
of
get
the
there.
course,
We'll get
honestly.
there. Always, I feel like we always got to get this stuff out in the first few chapters, and then we start to focus in.
Once we make the running jokes,
Yeah.
it goes a lot quicker.
Okay. Back to it. Chip chop.
Oh, this is the part with the butcher block. And my note about this was, I guess, had some more layers, but it was really just like, it was everything about this little house, like this little place where she was obviously having some kind of emotional response to it. But then this whole part with the butcher block where she says it's oddly shaped and then says that only adds to the cuteness in my humble opinion. Wish I had one just like it. Like screaming because I can't wait for like actual flashbacks of her like memories coming back where Con teases her for making this oddly shaped thing and she says it's perfect or something, and then when she sees it here and she says it's oddly shaped and he's like, oh, you think it's oddly shaped? I want playbacks of all of this later. Because this is, because it's calcified. So obviously that's going to happen at some point. I can't wait.
You guys are just making such bold statements when you just don't know. And it's just funny.
Well, they're true. So.
God.
Sure are presuming a lot.
Yeah, a lot of presumption.
Thank
You know what presuming does.
Makes a prez out of you and me.
Yes, it does. Okay, well, from here, she talks about the 3 documented moonfalls since folks began like scribing their history onto scrolls. And I thought that was interesting because the prequel talks about how the gods created things, and then it ends with like, and then a moon fell or something like that. And we only hear of that one. So like hearing that there was 3 and like getting all the info was a little surprising to me, I guess. Or I guess if they had talked about the others, I had missed that. And so we learn about the adolescent saber scythe that is barely 3 phases old. And we actually get to see that one when she goes to the volcanic plains. And then also the molten maw large enough to destroy a chunk of the wall, littering the sky with a cloud of dust and sand that could be seen all the way from Gore. And if she talked about that one, I don't remember. So maybe she did, maybe she didn't. And then the moon plume, which is the first one to fall. And so that was the only one that we like knew for sure that had fallen or whatever. And this one seems to be the one that has all of its like moon shards, because it says like bursting into a litter of shards that blasted a crater within the shade so large a city could dwell within its dimpled depth, which is wild to think about. Like that even the adolescent one that they were able to
My weakness.
Oh my god. That even
Love
the
living that
adolescent.
city.
Okay, guys. This is my note.
The mayor of Dimpletown.
What is this, Dimple City? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just that even the adolescent one is big enough that they could build this whole like fighting arena and like all the things in it and stuff. So to think that the other one is so big that a whole entire city could live in it or like be made in it is just wild. And then the fact that Con is collecting moon shards from it as if he's going to be able to collect all of those or something, which is also
catch 'em
crazy.
all.
Yeah, it really is like that.
Just for like a point of clarity, you said in the prequel, I think you mean the prologue.
The prequel.
Just so people don't think we have some prequel that no one else has. We have the
prequel
same
to the story.
information.
It's just in this story, so it's called a prologue.
Sure.
The 1-chapter prequel.
Did you read the prequel?
Guys,
The thing at the
there's
beginning
a
of the
lot
book? Yeah.
information in that prequel.
That's true. It could have been its own book.
It should have been its own book. Oh, there's
Could have
a
been
lot.
its own book.
I could have had a lot more details.
Would have been its own book.
But like, think of all the drama between the gods. Like, that could have been its own story. I would have been here for it.
It might still be.
Could be. Yeah.
Might still could. Should would be.
Oh my God.
Should, but short. I can't. Okay. Last note from this chapter. This is continuing the thoughts about the moon plume and such. In her POV, it says, I've seen moon shards before in a place where I was remade more times than I could count. Those glorious shards, one of the only forms of luster that didn't cause me some sort of pain. So were these the shards from her moon plume Slatra used to heal her? Or like put her back together after the moonfall? Is that why the dragon's like inside of her? Because they were using the moon shards?
You can't even get through your sentence without laughing.
Because I'm watching you guys. Oh, I can't. My eyes hurt. I still have a lot of questions about how all of this happened and who would have helped her or who decided that she needed to be imprisoned and like not know anything about who she was. Somebody else
okay over
talk.
there?
I can't
Yeah,
see
I agree.
Arr. she's like squinting over here. Like, what's happening?
It's like, hold on, let me talk for a second.
Yeah, open up those peepers.
You need me to tape them open for you? Oh my God.
That was
Oh
very
boy.
funny.
Oh boy. Here we
I
go.
can't stop crying.
Stop
Okay.
crying. You need the moisture for your eyes.
He did used to work at the eye doctor, so he would know.
At the eye doctor.
The one.
There's only
and
one.
the only.
The next one's my note, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, all of this is your friend. Did you even finish the note you were talking about?
Sort of. Oh my gosh. This feels like for a while when we were doing Throne of Glass, I think it was in our tandem read episodes, I kept crying so much every time we recorded because I was always laughing so hard that I just quit wearing eye makeup for a while. Probably should have done that today. Oh, okay. Chapter 34. This is such a stupid note.
You're not even going to try to fix your other one. You're just going to move
No,
on.
it's fine.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll
sounds
just
great.
move on.
We got
Make
it.
it work. We'll make
We'll
it
get it in
work.
post.
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks, editor.
Okay. Oh my god, this GIF. I can't do this.
Connor, explain it to the people.
Mm.
Wait, chapter 34.
I didn't see the GIF until just now. Yeah, chapter 34. My first note is that we have
Rave.
exposed forearms, people.
Thank you.
And I quote, Khan's black tunic is rolled to the elbows, exposing slash marks up and down his corded forearms.
Tell me about
Half the buttons popped, offering peaks of dense chest muscles that tense with each strong clamp of his tool.
Ooh. Continue.
And the gif that I put that she was laughing about was just Princess Mononoke literally just biting into someone's forearm. Because that's how I picture some of you girls being feral about forearms. Just, give me that arm.
I thought you were talking about how Rave
does
bites his
this.
arm. Yeah.
She
That
does,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Princess who? Who and a what day?
Princess Mononoke.
From?
Princess Mononoke.
Oh, duh. My bad.
Self-titled.
Got it.
Oh,
Okay.
that one.
Yes.
This made me think of the little clip of the dark gray cat like doing the evil laugh. It's like a really popular like little clip where it's like biting some dude's foot under the cover, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
Okay, well,
Good stuff.
Khan serves Rave soup, and she tries to eat
Yeah,
it
I
with her
did.
bound hands, and it says her teeth gritted as she tries again. So cheersies.
Wow.
Slurp it up like soup.
One.
Good soup.
Wow.
Good soup.
Speaking of good soup, Rave tries to eat her soup and spills it everywhere, and I wrote, OMG, is he about to feed her? Then she bites him, and he backs her up against the wall, and I quote, with his thighs shoved between mine, with my hands pinned above my head and his hand clutched around my jaw, our bodies flesh, breath sawing through our bared teeth, and I wrote, this is so much better!
And I just put the image of SpongeBob telling Patrick, write that down, write that down.
And then the best part is he still does feed her later.
I know.
So
Of
much
his
better
arm
than I
and
imagined.
from the soup.
From his arm.
I mean, she ate Rex
Unintentional.
Zaros' finger, so
I
she-
guess that's true. Well, yeah.
I mean,
Surely Khan tastes better
let's hope so. I would think a forearm tastes better than a finger.
than a finger. All right.
Quick poll for this episode. Let us know in the comments.
I feel like a
do you
forearm would
think
involve
tastes
more
better?
hair, but I mean, you
It's a
know.
little more meaty than a finger.
Little-
Finger's just
yeah.
all tendon and bone. Ugh,
Yeah.
Gross.
little grisly.
And Khan's got some juicy
Sinewy.
forearms. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Any cannibals chime in? What's the best taste?
if you know from experience, shout it out. In the comments.
Oh my god.
Just somebody's like, well, I
Don't
didn't
do
want to
that.
say anything, but
Well, when you crave hands. All right.
Wow.
There was just a random POV quote in this chapter that said too hot and then in italics, not hot enough. And I wrote, that's how I feel about this whole chapter. Thank you, Sarah.
This whole chapter section, honestly.
Yes.
my main takeaway from this chapter was Khan sort of reassuring her that she's safe during the rainstorm. She doesn't need to worry. She gives him a little sass saying that he wants something out of her, which is the only reason she's still alive, to which he replies, all I want out of you is to eat your fucking soup and maybe for us to get through this slumber without any more bloodshed, a concept I'm aware you struggle with. And I said, I feel like this is a variation of every conversation at every meal I've ever had, convincing our 2 young girls to stop breakdancing on their chairs and at least eat one nugget. Like, I just want you to eat, and then we'll go to bed.
And nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
No more bloodshed.
That's basically what happened here the other night too,
Yeah.
because our kids were like farting around on the chairs and one of them fell off.
That's what ours do. Ours like to move in them, and they're very squeaky, and they'll just sit there and go, "Ree, ree, 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 ree." And we're like, can you please stop?
Not.
Well, and our youngest thing is like whenever she finally starts eating, then she has to go to the bathroom. Or she'll get up
Yeah.
and she'll come over and be like, can I just have a hug? And she knows that we're not going to like deny her and be like, no, go eat your food. So it's like she just tries to get out of it with things that she knows we're not going to tell her no for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's Zoe.
Children.
They're the worst.
Just eat your chicken nugget.
I had a lot of highlight. Oh no.
Oh,
no, honey.
Oh, honey. That's how she said it. Honey.
Okay. Where the heck were we? Oh, I had many highlights of Con's dialogue from this whole section, but this was just one random one that happened to have a note attached to it where he says there's a difference between being cared for and being commanded. Know it. And I wrote, Your Honor, I love him. I feel like all of the highlights I had where I said that, they all seemed like such random dialogue, but I do love him. I love him so much. And then Rave is thinking of Essie here and how Essie used to bake for them. And this just sent a whole pang of sadness straight to my little heart all over again. Essie dying already feels like it was a million phases ago, but it just hit me. I'm so sad.
Doesn't it though? Like, I feel like on my first read, I really struggled with it feeling kind of, I don't know, maybe not choppy, but it felt like we were here and then we went here and now we are,
Yeah.
and it was almost like, oh, wait, that was still this book, or that was like, that wasn't actually that
Yeah.
long ago, but it makes it feel like it was forever ago kind of a thing.
Yeah. And I think it was in this section, she said something about it being like a few Aurora cycles ago.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
just
was
been a
like,
couple days.
Holy crap. Feels
'Cause-
like it's been weeks.
I think all of that first scene from her like killing that one guy at the very, very beginning to Essie dying was one like night. It was like she woke up the next day and that's when Essie was dying. And
yeah.
then she was in
Yeah.
jail for like 2 days. And then
Yeah.
she's now with Con or whatever. So it's like literally been like 4 nights.
Yeah, she didn't even stay the night there. She just
Yeah.
up and left.
Crazy.
Yeah, wild.
Crazy. Well, this scene of them laughing together, my note here says, this little scene of them laughing together is so cute. And then John was like trashing it in the chapter recap.
Rude, John.
What the heck,
I thought
John?
this was cute too.
I don't
It's
know.
adorable.
When I first read it, it just felt so like out of place to me. I don't know. It was odd.
I
guess-
loved it. I thought it was sweet.
Yeah, I guess it's like she's finally comfortable enough maybe or something that she could feel like she could laugh and her guard wasn't 100% up all the time, or
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just some of those walls coming down for maybe both of them. Like there's so many elements of that you could look at it from.
And he
In
never
maybe
thought
an
he would hear
awkward
her laugh again because she died.
Oh my god, Connor.
I mean, you could tell that she was like starting to break earlier whenever he stuck his tongue out at her, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I almost smiled at it." So yeah, maybe this
Yeah.
was just like they finally sat down, got some food in their bellies, and realized like how funny they are, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we've been killing it with our
Start a
banter
podcast.
right out of my mom's retreat."
That's right.
That's what it's called.
Mom's
tuned in.
Retreat podcast with Con and Ray.
I tune in. Well, I thought it was cute. So
It was cute, and it led into this other cute moment where Rave is realizing that Con just wants her, but she thinks in her POV, and I quote, that he doesn't want me for my affinity with Claude or Boulder or the ease with which I slay. And I wrote, Yas, queen, slay.
I wrote the same thing. I was like, get it. Slay.
And then a tick in Con's jaw. Paul says, cheers, everybody. That's right.
Yay.
I snagged one. Cayman Islands.
What?
I've been there.
I've been there.
I haven't.
Why are we talking about it?
It's on my mug.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why we went on our honeymoon.
Nice.
Oh.
Honeymoon, you say?
Calcified.
Theorize.
Put it up there.
Send it up. Launch it.
Launch it. This is getting elaborate.
This book is elaborate.
It is.
Get up with Sarah.
True.
Okay, so I had my note earlier about how I hoped that he was about to feed her because she couldn't feed herself the soup. And then he not only like grabs her spoon and feeds her, and then I put in parentheses, called it. He also wipes her face. He gives her a second serving. He offers her fresh water, and he cleans her shirt when they're done. And I wrote, my gentle giant. I love him.
But also she let him
Sweet.
do all of those things, which is a lot for
Yeah.
her in that moment
Yeah.
too. So
It is.
yeah.
The
Look at
walls
us
are coming
growing.
down. Ugh, I love him.
And then in all of his amazing con-ness, he says, the only exit is down the stairs and out the back door. That's if you can creep past me quietly enough, since I'll be sleeping on the cedar. If you succeed, I'll enjoy hunting you down. So be my fucking guest. And I was like, he's gonna have to chase her down. Everyone listening, if somebody said this to you in real life, you should be scared and probably
Call for
actually
help.
run. Yes. But in this fantasy book,
Yeah, it's circumstantial, I guess. Chapter 35, Rave. My very first note, I think one of the very first things said, is she's sort of thinking about Con being like, well, perhaps he's a good male, a good honorable king. I don't have the heart to peel back the layers and find out. And I wrote, layers? Like an ogre? I still have Enchanticon on my mind. We learned a lot about Shrek.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
we did do that. Yes.
Lots of fun facts.
Not the gumdrop buttons.
Oh, this is more of my calcified theory reactions, but in Rave's POV, it says, I'm broken in ways Con will never understand, condemned to a lonely existence I found peace with. And I wrote, no, bestie, you don't understand. He probably feels the same way because of this theory I've calcified in my mind. I feel so much sympathy for him because of this. But then, and then I had another one of these moments where in her POV it says the world would be a better place with one less tyrannical Vagor brother. Yes, that's it. That's the hook. And I wrote, I hope she tries to work up the nerve to kill him and then they kiss instead. And then later when she's after she's worked up the nerve to kill him, it says, the strangest need to kiss him surges through my veins. And I wrote, yes, girl, do it. Then later on, when they're doing other stuff, and he says, cut me if you want me to stop, he rasps, his thumb sliding across my cheekbone. I'll gladly bleed beneath you, so don't be shy. And I wrote all caps, this is so much better.
I will say, like, for the line where she's like, the world will be a better place with one less tyrannical Vagor brother. Yes, that's it. That's the hook. I couldn't help but picture her, like, turning to camera and being like, yeah, that's it. That's the story you signed up for. That's where we're going.
This part made the song The Hook pop into my head, and then I just kept,
Captain Hook.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
I'm shocked. I don't know.
Are you actually shocked,
Yes,
or are you
I am.
sarcastically shocked about it being the exact words that was in the book?
I just wouldn't have expected. I'm like Blues Traveler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at that. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so once his eyes pop open and she notices that his eyes are lit with a soul-crushing blaze, and how she like called this out, I was wondering if he had dragon sight, especially like after this he does the whole like I see you, and I forget what she says. She gives him like a retort or something. He's like, no, like I see you. And I'm like, okay, that seems interesting that he had to reiterate himself. So I brought that question. And then I, of course, I had to talk about this. Said, I let my head tip back, bottom lips tucked between my teeth, surrender to his ministrations. And I was like, no, not the ministrations.
I highlighted that for you, like knowing that.
I almost did, but I wanted you to find it on your own.
No. This was from Throne of Glass, right?
Yeah.
Is that what this is from? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did several
This is a
words
throwback.
that bothered you that series?
This is a
Twang,
throwback.
ministrations,
Yeah,
grounding.
but
Ground.
grounding, God. Don't remind me.
Well, on the positive side of the writing in the scene, I had a highlight that I really loved from Rave's internal headspace while she's trying to activate beast mode to like, I think this is what she was trying to hype herself up to like kill him or just push down all her feelings toward him and stuff. But it says, stripping back the sprouting emotions I feel for Con until I'm left with a bare skeleton I leave lying on my internal shore, bundling all my budding curiosity and tentative appreciation and tying it to a stone. And then it talks about how she tries to like find a spot to, chuck the stone into the water or whatever. But I just love the way that she describes all of it. It's like really every time she's talking about this internal space, like the frozen lake and stuff, it's always so good. But I just always loved that. Then this is also a callback to, was it Throne of Glass or Empyrean, where Rave has her own, I called it a That's So Rave N moment. And her POV says, a dream, maybe. And I wrote, a drememory, if you will.
That's Imperial.
The Drememory.
Drememory.
Wow, I totally forgot about that.
She was having like a sort of a vision of like another time or something.
Oh my God, that's like
a dream, maybe.
Literally a perfect explanation for that, or a perfect example.
Thank you.
Nice. So proud.
And my last note from this chapter is just that I got to the end where like Con shuts her down and she runs back to her room and she's like feeling so much shame. And I just am so affected by this book. I had to take a break to like wallow for a little bit because Sarah A. Parker really has me in a chokehold and I will wholeheartedly feel whatever she tells me to. And then I saw John's note from this part.
Yeah, which I said, what in the emoji not erotica bullshit was that?
Yeah. You don't get it all on the first try.
Doesn't she know it?
I love that Connor's like, I will wholeheartely feel whatever Sarah tells me to, but also all of these facts and theories that I've made up in my head are the truth, and I will believe all of them.
They are. And I feel so deeply for these characters because of their tragic backstory I've made up.
Oh my gosh. It's like people watching at a mall and you feel bad just because of the story you made up for someone you don't know. Oh man, they probably live
Does
alone.
this happen to you often, Kyle?
Yep. People watched a lot. When malls were a thing, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not really a thing anymore.
All right, chapter 36, Rave. Thank you. I was the only person who wrote a note in this chapter. This is the one where she escapes. She like is actually able to get out of the house and through the window and goes into the river and like takes off or whatever. And she's like trying to be careful because there's this huge storm going on. But then it says a flock of tawny birds ripping from the jungle, squawking as they shoot skyward. My heart leaps into my throat. Birds don't fly during storms. Everybody knows that. They hunker down. Did something spook them? And then she thinks that it's Con, and so she like takes off faster and then slips and falls and passes out for, by the way, the like 50 bajillionth time. The girl's passing out every other second. Probably needs to go to the doctor. But I was thinking back when I like highlighted it originally and thinking back through my notes. Do we think this was actually Con, or do we think this was the fate herder in this moment?
Fate herder. That's what I think.
Yeah,
That's kinda what I'm thinking, too.
I did not think about it until John said it, and then I was like, "Oh, I totally am in agreement with that."
Because I could even see if this, obviously, like the fate herder knowing more things that would maybe make the birds fly in that way would make her run. Like all of the things to like lead her to that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just kind of set it all up.
Totally.
I'm great with that. That one I'll believe.
Diary entry. Well, now you're finally getting up.
Calcified. Put it up there.
Calcified. It was a fate herder.
Send it up quick. Okay, we have another diary entry, and this is the one where the Fade's young queen came to visit Elwyn, and Elwyn removed her veil to let the queen see her face. So in my calcified theory, she totally recognized Rave immediately at the trial because the first time they met, she saw her face, and the queen was like so kind to her and made her feel loved. And it was really sweet to read about, and I really hope they are all connected because all of these moments would be really freaking cool if this is true.
Well, and just like the queen, like her own story, the young queen's story is also equally sad to whatever Elwyn is going through and seems just as much, I don't know, forced into this horrible situation potentially and being tied to the Vagors and all of the things.
Yeah, and just like after losing her whole family, that she has someone to relate to in this moment is really sweet. It's very special. And then the last line about Slatcher not being able to survive in the burn, Elwyn says, I'd rather die than watch her turn to stone. And I wrote the foreshadowing. I don't even know what we're foreshadowing, but I know this is foreshadowing.
And I mean, speaking of foreshadowing, coming out of where we just were with Rave, where she like gets knocked out or whatever, and then it goes into this chapter, I was like going crazy, like highlighting all of these things Sarah writes into this chapter, and all of these things have been like happening or have like just recently happened to Rave. So I was like just calling it all out. Like the POV of Elowen thinking about her parents. She says where they'd sing me songs that always made me feel better. Like Rave is constantly like humming throughout the story so far. Elowen got a smack to the side of the head by one of the Burns barbed guards, and everything went black for a bit. And Rave gets knocked out. It says everything went black, or like blackness or whatever. So I was like, okay, just keeps going. The Fade's queen coming to see Elowen and helping her. The queen talking about conceiving a youngling who forced them into a binding that tied the Burn and the Fade together in a secure knot, which I'm assuming that this could be Kazari. I think the timeline kind of matches up with like who they are, and age-wise, I think this would make sense as well.
Yeah, which when he mentioned this, we talked about how we were confused about like why Kazari had worn the crown from like such a super, super young age when Elowen didn't. But if Elowen wasn't wearing it because her mother was still alive, and then Elowen was bearing the crown and she died at some point, supposedly in the near-ish future from these diary entries, then if that's like while the Fade Queen is pregnant with Kazari, then whenever Kazari is born, it would make sense that if that was around the time Elowen was dying, that she would be wearing the crown at that point. Which
Pretty
was like,
crazy.
again, I don't know the timeline, how close it is, but I feel like that would make sense.
Yeah, and then the last one was they had Elowen wearing cuffs of iron, and she had been shot with an iron pin. And Rave has been wearing like iron cuffs, and she was also shot with a pin. So it's just like all these
Coincidence?
literally all these same things that have happened to Rave. It's just super crazy.
Yeah. Are you calcifying? It feels like you're calcifying.
Send it
Oh my
up.
gosh, are you calcifying right
God.
now?
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Everybody's
Are we preparing
calcifying.
for takeoff?
For takeoff. Oh my god.
Chapter 38. I was cracking up at the start of this chapter. This was such a weirdly specific thing to relate to. But when Rave is waking up from being knocked out, I just kept laughing at like her whole internal monologue and everything she was doing because it was so goofy. And it was like she was seeing the people who were, you know, running alongside her, and she's like, hi.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like, because it sounds bad that I'm saying I think this has only happened once. I one time passed out in a doctor's office. I think it was because I had just seen a needle, and at the time I was very not a fan of that. And so I was like standing in the waiting room and I passed out and I hit my head on a door hinge on the way down, and I woke up like it sounded like I was out for a little bit, and I woke up and there were people, like I was on the floor and there were people like over me, you know, like trying to make sure that I was okay. My friend Bethany was there and she said that I opened my eyes and smiled, and it was like the creepiest thing ever. But I felt like I had just woken up from the best nap of my life, and it took me like a good couple minutes to figure out where I was and like what was happening. But I felt great. It was really freaking everybody else out. And so reading this chapter where she's waking up from being knocked out and she's like just like loopy.
Everyone else was like, I thought you were dead.
Anyone listening, if
Oh
you've
my
ever
gosh.
been knocked out in a crazy way, do you also relate to this moment?
But like, actually, please tell me if you do, because this felt so random. But it was funny. In this whole chapter, when we actually get into some more serious events, I was convinced that Kolu meant queen like the whole time. And I was freaking out every time they said it until they explained what it meant. And then she like saw the throne and there was already a queen on the throne. But I thought that it meant queen and that they were like literally recognizing her. But that's not what happened.
Yeah. I didn't think it was Queen at first, but I felt like maybe it was their like literal name to these people. Because I was thinking that if her and Con were like together in a previous life or whatever, then maybe he brought her here enough that she was basically like family to them or something, so they know her really well. That's kind of where my mind was at the start of this, and they were like calling her Kolu and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The
I do
whispered
think
calcified in the middle of that was wild. Calcify. Start putting that anytime.
Calcify! Free!
Can I get a witness?
I don't think it was like, I mean, we sort of learn pretty quickly what Kolu means whenever they're talking to her about it. But like, it is in the glossary. And it literally just means the person who brings the offspring, that whatever they say.
Yeah.
The prophesied
I
person.
had some real shouty all caps notes about it though, because they said Kolu like 20 times before they explained what it meant. So I was really trying to figure it out, but
I'm sure they did explain what it meant, but it was in that weird language that none of us understood.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
That doesn't make it weird. Come on. That's their language.
My bad. So sorry to everyone who speaks that language. I would be interested to know from Sarah how she came up with that. Like, is it an actual language, or
I was wondering
did she
if you
just
could
write
reverse
some weird
engineer
letters
it.
together and pretend it made
I was
sense?
trying to decipher it actively.
Well, come on, they're not weird letters. Those
Oh
are
my God.
their letters. I was wondering before we began recording that I was like, I wonder if you could reverse engineer it with like what words they say that they translate and what words they say that you don't. If some real smart person out there has been like decoding it and be like, oh, here's everything else they said.
You're telling me you haven't already tried to do that?
Nope.
Or Googled it to see if someone else already has.
I literally thought of this right before we recorded. I was like, I don't have time to.
I have not Googled it.
Yeah.
Can you Google it real quick?
Yeah.
I just want to know if it exists.
True. Cool. Clan language.
Okay, this
it's
one.
probably based on Icelandic, is what I'm seeing here, because Jokul is an Icelandic word that means glacier. So if it's anything close to that, then it may be at least loosely based off Icelandic.
Well, I was going to say that's weird for it being in the burn, but they did say there were people from like all over.
Yeah.
Well, this one from a TikTok says, the topic says, what language is spoken in When the Moon Hatched? When the Moon Hatched was a written language I don't understand. Joey is me. I am Joey. Moon plume. Moonbeam. Moon poo poo. And that's all it says without clicking on the video.
The whole thing.
That's funny.
John, you're not Googling, are you?
Don't do it.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, are we ready to continue?
Yeah, I'll do some more research on that later.
Yeah.
Okay,
Me
great.
too.
Okay.
Let's do it together.
Oh, could be in the same room researching. Parallel play.
Anyway, I did really love this like crazy prophecy concept though. I just like this chapter section did not go where I was expecting at all. And I loved it. I thought it was crazy and like, I don't know, kind of wild and fun. And I hope it takes the plot in an even crazier place. I'm sure it will. But then the Fate Herder, I was also just freaking out about. And like I said, at first when there was something happening with the cliffs or like the rocks in this scene too, I thought that it was Khan's like sick boulder skills. I was not expecting it to be a giant invisible fate enforcing cat. That was not on my bingo card. But it's so cool, especially seeing the fan art of it.
Well, and I like that she's described it as something that physically nudges someone, like a bossy handler.
Yeah.
So it's not just like this mysterious fate that you see in other books, or just like the word fate getting thrown around. And it's like they feel a gentle breeze that direction. No, it's like a literal physical something standing in your way and not letting you walk a certain direction or actually pushing you in another. And I liked that it was like actual physical thing. Yes.
It makes you wonder,
love that
like,
too.
she's really good at, like, obviously creating the world and the backgrounds and the beings. It makes me wonder, though, like, in the world, if someone encountered this creature for the first time, why did that become normal? Like, why were people like, oh, yeah, that's your fate? Instead of just being like, that's the weird animal that pushes you. Like, who knows who
Well, it
decided,
sounded
like, it's the fate one.
It sounded like all the people who had seen it were like delusional or like would be said to be crazy. You know, like nobody actually really super believes it. It's just like a mythical, like more legend than it is reality or whatever is said. So I guess it's just through years and years and years of rumors and storytelling and whatever. I don't know.
Phases and phases and phases.
Yeah.
Phases
It's like
and
when
phases.
Bigfoot shows up, you know? Not everybody's going to believe you
phases-
actually saw him.
Phases keep coming and they don't stop coming.
That takes us to chapter 39, another rave chapter. And this is when they're taking her into their like village or whatever it is, their camp. It says it must have taken a great affinity with Boulder to find these remains, to excavate them so precisely without disturbing their position. And I was thinking, I mean, this could have been Khan, right? He's apparently really proficient in boulder, so I was interested if maybe he, you know, when he was still young, that he kind of helped make this place and like excavate and do all the things to make this like a little camp for them.
Yeah, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
I like that boulder.
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder. Calcified.
TM.
It's gonna be a thing. When they're like leading her into this whole, what are we calling it? This where like carcass, yeah. Like when they lead her inside of this place, I kept thinking that when they brought her in, or then when they brought her into the throne room, or this like head office thing, I just kept thinking like whenever they go into the next place, Con was gonna be waiting there, like, well. So it made sense that he wasn't there, but I just kept thinking that was going to be really funny if he was just like, told you.
Just wanted another throne scene.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
There's still time.
Oh, I thought this was so funny whenever they are walking through this like little village and everything, and the fate herder is obviously following her, and all the people are reacting to it. And it says, it occurs to me that it's probably what I was supposed to do when I first saw the fate herder kiss the ground. Instead, I tried to run from it, yelled at it, snarled at it, and essentially told it to F off. It'll probably give me a shit fate, and honestly, it's warranted. I've certainly got enough blood on my hands to justify it. Classic rave right there.
Classic rave. Yes. I just thought it was funny that she kept thinking like, should I be kneeling? Do I bow?
But never does. Like never actually. It's like, nah, whatever. This
By the
thing's
time you're wondering, it's too late anyway.
Yeah.
true.
Then it just looks rude.
Yeah. It looks like a sarcastic bow.
So when she's trying to figure out what the heck is happening, Siza says it was foretold that the fate herder would bring you to us, that your offspring would tether the moons to the sky, she says with a hitch of awe, forever. And I don't have a lot of thoughts about this yet, mostly just a question. What the F is happening? What does that mean?
I like your note saying, what the fork is happening with no spaces. Like it's all one word.
Because it was. That's what happened in my head. What the fork's happening? I don't, this is something I would put in.
I don't know.
In my thoughts and theories, if I had any thoughts and theories about it. There's no
It
thoughts,
sounds
just
to
confused.
me
Nothing
that
calcifying.
they're saying
Don't.
that
Only
her
John.
offspring would
Don't.
tether the moons to the sky.
Shut up.
I bet of all your thoughts and theories so far, that's probably the most accurate.
Calcify it, baby.
Calcify it, baby. That's good. Send it on up.
She, after finding out that, she's told that in her head, she says, I am no Cola and I will never carry offspring. And the italics, when I first read this, made me wonder if this is a hard and fast rule that she plays by, or if this is a hard fact of life, much like some other books where that option has been taken away from some main characters. So not necessarily like a, I'm never going to do that, but like a, I never will do that.
Can't.
Literally, yeah. I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
I mean, for all that Rave has gone through in her life, I feel like that's potentially on the table as an option, unfortunately.
I thought she mentions like briefly after this that she has never missed like a tonic.
Oh, that's
yeah.
true.
That's true.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, you got to take the
Yeah, I
fertility
guess it could just
suppressant
be-
tonic.
Yeah.
And you have to talk about it.
Yes.
Witch's brew.
No witch's brew. Well, if you don't talk about
doesn't
it, then
work without
everybody
word of
thinks
mouth.
that you're pregnant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
automatically.
Automatic.
The first rule of fantasy.
Of any book.
My last note from this chapter.
Oh my God, Connor.
Is from Rave's POV. Where it's in italics. It says a vibrato dong rattles the air. LOL dong.
And I saw that this was highlighted, so I clicked the note, and I was like, I knew this was going to be your note. I knew it.
God.
You said it out loud.
The emphasis you put on that word just now.
She put the emphasis on it when she put it in italics.
Yeah, it's in italics. It's just in her head, right, Lauren?
Yeah, she didn't say that word out loud. Hey, Connor's the one who thought there was mind-to-mind speak at the beginning of this series. So
I said
Don't
if
put
that
that at
wasn't
me.
calcified.
Yeah, that was skim. That was skim calcified at best.
oh my God.
2% calcified.
Slightly curdled me.
Ew.
That's like the cottage cheese of calcification.
My word.
All right, chapter 40. Rave. Anybody?
Got more intense at the end there.
Me, you, me, you, you, me, you. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
So First of all, hearing Jon react to this chapter live was great. Specifically, the description of the battle ring. Like, just he was reading it next to me, and I had already read this part. But hearing his reactions to it real time was just great. Mine, literally, my note just said, "Whoa." Jon was a lot more animated. But it says the skulls that were in like the battle ring were not from fallen animals. They have rounded heads and tapered canines. The fresher ones retaining the rotten remnants of a tapered ear. They're fey. And that was one of those descriptions where I was like, oh shit, okay. It was more serious than I thought.
Yeah. Well, and like the head that Hawk chopped off or whatever is probably going to be one of them. Like,
Yeah, right.
they're just going to like add it to the line of severed heads, I guess.
Take the body, leave the head.
It's
Yeah, super creepy though.
That's what I always say.
Always. He always says that.
classic. But that's even creepier because then it's like it's people they know. Like he's been part of the clan. That's
But it's
so
probably
weird.
like one of those things that they're like honored
their tradition.
or
Yeah.
Oh,
some
yeah.
sort of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or like,
Wild.
yeah, they're like dead and dishonored. We're like, well, you didn't win the fight, so
That's what you get.
I can't claim them.
Oh my God.
Seriously, I mean, that's
Yeah.
how I feel like it sometimes would operate.
Yeah. Yeah. So they reveal that piece of it. And then they reveal that there's a whole saber scythe moon that didn't break apart upon impact. And I wrote also, whoa, really exciting notes. But that was wild. And the description of this like adolescent moon and Rave placing the flowers next to it and then respecting this like pleading request that she felt to turn away. It like almost made me cry. It was just, this whole piece was so unexpected.
Yeah, and like the fact that the moon wasn't even where it had fallen, they like rolled it
Oh, yeah.
out
Yeah.
of the way or whatever. Like the fact that they could even do that or even would think to do that is wild to me. And then that it's like its own little altar, I guess, to the moon. It's just also an interesting piece of world building on how they, I guess, treat the moons, not just I guess these people, but maybe the whole world. But yes, this whole moment where it was like she had seen the moon obviously and she had like reached out to touch it, and then it says a morning presence deep inside urges me to turn around, to stop looking, not an urge, a gentle probing request, a plea. And so she listens to it and like turns around and doesn't look back. So it's like, I don't know, the whole description, everything is just so well done. And yeah, it's sad. It's a sad moment.
Poor Slatra.
For the little baby dragon. though.
I know, it is really sad.
For the little baby one that actually is
I
calcified right
know.
there.
I know.
Sad.
My next note is when they're getting ready to like fight each other or whatever, and they are kind of like starting to battle, or they're like picking out their weapons, and that's when it like dawned on me. I was like, is Zarin and Honk gonna fight for her? Maybe to like marry her or something, or like who gets the priceless honor of making babies with her?
And that was right. Calcified.
And that was right.
Calcify. Launch it.
Calcify it quick. It's about to fall. That one happens real quick.
Oh yeah.
So I keep wanting to say honk now because you keep saying it.
Say
I can't say honk.
calcified.
Oh my god. Calcify's our new go off queen.
Calcify honk.
Say it too many times.
Calcify honk. Calcify honk.
honk.
It's like picket signs.
Make it eternal.
The snort.
What is happening in this episode? So Honk wins the fight and immediately grabs his Malmer and tries to put it around Rave's neck, which is super cringy in this moment. But this moment, even though this sucked, made me think that maybe at some point she'll wear cons with the saber scythe and the moon plume on it, because that's just adorable.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. This though, absolutely not.
The only reason it's like
Goodbye.
horrible. Well, first of all, it's impressive in a weird way how quickly this village of people is like, oh yeah, this lady shows up. Yeah, let's go die. Like, let's go fight each other. Like it's like been 10 minutes, guys. Everybody calm down.
because they showed up like as soon as she was like in the tent. They were like
Ready to die.
They like knew what
Here
was
we go.
going on.
Yeah,
And
they
were
brought in the
already,
animal
like,
for cleansing and stuff, and they were
Yeah.
just doing it. Like, no questions asked. Known day to prepare.
We've all been in high
don't.
school and some new kid shows up and everyone's like, dibs, the new hot one. That one's mine.
You have to fight to the death?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
That's high school for you.
Bring in the animal.
Bring it in. Oh my gosh. But the problem specifically when Hawk is like putting the Malmer around her is that he like physically grabs her. Like she is clearly not wanting it and trying to get away. And he like grabs her shoulder and tries to like force it on her. And that's the big ick. Like it'd be one thing if he was, and she was like not a fan and even was trying to say no, but but it was like the grabbing of her shoulder and the whatever. That was just like, no, too far, sir. And he was like clearly frustrated the whole bit. Ugh.
The one like impressive thing about it was how quick it was. Because when I read it, I thought it was going to be like a long drawn out battle. But I was like, oh no, Hawk just ruined that guy. Like that was done quick. So like, yeah. And then like I guess Saizo was saying, oh, you're lucky. He's our strongest fighter. There will now be great celebration, after which he'll escort you to his tent and show you the pelts of his kills, upon which you will hopefully make strong sons and daughters in the cycles once your bond grows strong or grows sturdy. And I was like, what a first date, am I right? It just reminded me of the janitor from Scrubs showing off all his little taxidermy stuff. Like he just brings her back to a tent and he's like, I killed this one. Oh, look at this one. I made this one into a puppet. And Rafe just be like, okay.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like, what a weird, I don't know. Sorry, not weird.
So
That's what they do.
Yeah, not weird. That's their culture, Kyle.
That's their culture.
I just couldn't imagine going, I mean, I'm sure we've all gone on some weird first dates, but to have like a show of kills that you had, be like, so, kids?
You want to get started right now?
This doing it for you? Or...
Well, since it wasn't doing it for Rave, she says, I will fight for myself. And I actually typed this out in my notes, but I put a gif in here of Merida from Brave going, I'll be shooting for my own hand.
Nice.
That was a pretty good impression.
She says it twice. It was great. Thank you. So they tell Rave that as long as the Fate Herder doesn't prevent her from shooting for my own hand, she can do it. But my primary note here at the end of this chapter was that I'm really surprised that the Fate Herder is even still around with how like rare and mysterious it is. And people always think you're crazy if you've seen it. Like I figured it would give her a nudge and just dip out immediately, before it's been seen by too many people. But since this is like a huge prophecy fulfilling thing that specifically the Fate Herder was going to bring her, I guess it makes sense. But it's just like chilling. It's like taking a nap. I just wasn't expecting that.
I also thought it was interesting how she was trying to like figure out what the fate of that moment was, and how she was even saying like, maybe these two guys, like somebody just needed to die, and so I just got brought here for these other two dudes' fate, and trying to like basically push anything off that had nothing to do with her, when obviously it clearly does because she's the main character. But yeah, nobody knows what it's there for, and it is interesting for sure.
Maybe it's because their whole prophecy is like, oh, our prophecy is that it will bring the one who produces the offspring. Maybe she's like the 37th one that it's nudged in here. And that's why they're so ready to go. They're like, we got another one. Get the battle started up.
We get a live one.
And then when it doesn't happen, they're like, all right, well, it'll bring another one. We're
all
sure the
those
prophecy's
heads,
still right.
All those heads around are all the different tries that they've had with the Fate Herder.
Yeah.
That's why it's just like taking a nap.
Yeah.
Yep. Same old, just another Monday.
Waiting for the next one.
It's sitting there like, I hope I'm right this time. They're getting pretty antsy.
That's the best part about it just being like a legend, is it could just do anything.
Yep.
They'd be like, Fate!
Yep.
So, chapter 41. This is our last chapter of the episode, and Rave is... She's raving. She says, my body is mine, and I will do with it as I please. Nothing more. And I wrote, go off, Kolu.
I wrote, go off Oai, because that's the queen.
Even better. And then Rave references Spangle shit here again in her POV. And at this point, I'm never going to hear the Star Spangled Banner the same.
This had never crossed my mind, like connecting those two things. And right now being the beginning of the school year, this is the first song we cover in the choir. So we're ready to like sing it for sporting events and whatever throughout the school year. So it's now officially ruined for me. And I even thought about it today at work. So thanks for that, Con.
I'm surprised you hadn't thought about it before. Because like,
Nope.
since phase 1, I was there. Like as soon as Spangled show up.
Nope.
Yeah.
And then we get a little trickery here, I guess, from Rave. She uses the elements to her advantage. She grabs like a handful of dirt and she like throws it toward Honk here. And it says, Claude lashes the wind into a gust, spraying the sand into his eyes. Helping me of her own accord. Honk roars. I smile. Love you too, Claude. Miss you. Because the whole like area is like infused with iron or the sand, so they can't use their elements. So like the fact that she gets a little unsolicited help from Claude here, I thought was kind of cool, kind of fun.
Well, and this is our first like time to see like a god, I guess, since the other chapter. I think.
It's been a while.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess like the queen tried to use Claude to help her whenever she was like with the dragon.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that's the last time we've
Still
seen.
though, yeah,
It's been a bit.
yeah, it has.
Yeah. This whole honk thing is like your Dan B.
It is.
That's what's happening right now.
It is. Honk roars really got me, though.
Honk roars. I'm just imagining like a
sounds
little
like?
goose.
Yeah,
Anyway, so
Don't say it.
you do whatever you want.
Hawk. Now it sounds wrong. Now Hawk sounds wrong, and I feel like it should be Hawk.
Oh my god.
Anyway, he tosses a small hissing serpent through the air, and then it like bites Rave. But this was the part where I was like, is this the Oct? Like, is this the thing? But obviously they're
river?
not the same thing. I don't know why in my head those were connected, but
I'm sure you wouldn't know an oct if it bit you in the oct.
But also like what? Oh, he's our best fighter and he's all these things, but he's a cheater. He's not it. He's a jerk.
yeah.
What are the odds that he didn't know that snake was there and that was just him going, ah! like throwing it?
He does seem kind of dumb, so the chances are good. But then it spikes Rave with its venom, and at this moment, I thought, crap, this chapter's just going to end with Rave passing out again.
Right? She does it like
Gonna
40
be bummed
times.
about that. Yeah, which like technically she probably is about to pass out, but
Well, yeah, she's like
Yeah.
got all the venom or whatever. And it even
And a
says,
few
I just,
concussions.
yeah.
Yeah.
It says, I just lie, heavy lids, head heavier, feeling weaker and more brittle than I did when I woke confused in that cell so many Aurora cycles ago, way back at the very beginning. And we had little hints of that from when she was in the cell recently or whatever. So whatever the heck any of that means. But yeah, she is definitely about to straight up pass out. I really like
whatever that means.
from whenever she woke up at the beginning. We don't know what her beginning
Who could
is.
say?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
I'm gonna be done talking forever and ever.
Calcify.
For real. Okay. Okay.
Oh my god.
A-hole. That was rude. Don't laugh at that, guys. Is that funny?
Sorry, it was so mean, but it was so funny.
That's my MO.
Gosh. And as she is
quick.
face down in the dirt, she hears Regan come over and says, I'm certain I'm seeing things as Khan's boots thump upon the ground. And I was like, call it. And
Ayo.
thank goodness
Yeah.
he is here.
For real.
For real.
For so many reasons.
Yes.
Yes.
Mostly because I just want to look at him.
Just want to, would you look at that?
Yeah.
Would you just look at it?
The reason that I personally am really glad that this was Khan showing up was because right before this, for a moment, I thought it was about to switch to an other chapter again for the first time since chapter 15. And I was about to be so mad at Lauren for cutting me off right before an other chapter. What? So I was really glad that this was just Khan because I was going to be mad otherwise, but it's not.
Otherwise.
But Rave was like, otherwise. Rave was like, she had started like maniacally laughing, and it just, in everything in her POV, it felt like she was about to just summon the other. And so I really thought that was going to happen. And I'm kind of bummed it's not happening because I want another other chapter, but I did not want to be cut off right before it. So.
No,
Everything, yes.
I'm trying not to
all
be
around.
mean. I'm trying to make sense with my stopping points. I love you
You're
so
doing
much.
great. They've all been
Thanks.
perfect.
Good. This is my
You're-
first time
you're
like
amazing.
doing it. I mean, obviously like Kyle was there and I was like, what do you think about this or that? But like usually you lead most of those. So I'm doing it, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Ma?
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Okay. Yes. So Khan does show up and it says he is shirtless, but for his own Malmer hanging around his neck. And my note is all caps. Here we go. Woo! Woo! Cannot wait. And the very last line of this section says, probably not a good time to commend him on his hunting skills, but damn, it's tempting. And he did find her.
Yeah, he did.
I'll have to see if I can find it again, but I actually did see a TikTok about that specific scene where Khan shows up at the end of this, or not the end of this fight, but in the middle of this fight. And it's just the audio of like someone talking and they'll be like, where your clothes at? Because why is he sure?
There's a ton of fan art, I feel like, of this specific scene that I have seen of him like coming off the dragon.
I would like to see this
shirtless
fan art.
and walking in and all the things. Yeah. I
Just
think I'll
drop
let you
that
finish
in
the scene.
Text. Dang it.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to ruin
So I'm
things. for
staying
you.
up late.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know when you're done.
Well, that wraps up this chapter section. What are our initial impressions and current character thoughts of all of the new characters and old, John?
Yeah, this was a great chapter section. It continues to just draw me in. I'm starting to get to like a turning point where, okay, Sarah, like I need some answers or I'm going to lose my freaking mind. So hopefully some more of that is coming in the next chapter section. That would be great. Characters, I mean, Raven, Con are both kind of at the forefront here. So... And I like both of them. The banter she writes with both of them is like really, really good. They clearly are familiar with each other in some way, so that'll be interesting development as we continue the story. It's interesting that we get so much about the magic and the beads here to start. It's like she kind of sets that up here at the start, and then there's a little bit of a break there as we're into this part of the story. And I feel like we might be with the Joku clan for a little while here in this section, possibly, because I mean, he's obviously gonna kill Honk, right? Like, and then that's gonna happen. Like, they're gonna
Honk if you love Rave.
they're gonna be bound by this prophecy in some way, and maybe something happens here while they're there where she gets some more memory back or something. She goes through some more dream memories.
Get some more, am I right?
Yeah, just straight gets it. And then she's just gets her memory just knocked back into her. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah.
Something knocked back into it. Well, Con, any thoughts, any retorts, any agreements?
Oh, well, my
So
first
debate.
thought is that you can consider this episode the hard launch for me and Con Vegor.
Ooh.
Con and Con.
Con and
Calcify.
Con. Calcify! I love him. I love him so much. I feel like I said this maybe during Quicksilver, that someone was very quickly climbing the ranks of the book boyfriend list. This is happening much faster.
Wow.
The
And,
time.
there is, I think, even greater potential here. Maybe. I don't know. We're only halfway through the book, so we'll see how it shakes out. But I love him. I really like Rave as an FMC, although I can't figure out exactly what it is that makes me like her so much. Maybe it's just the combination of the sympathy that I feel for her character mixed with like that she's just crazy enough to have like a fun POV, but not so crazy that it completely takes me out of the story. But either way, I am obsessed with her and Con and this big fluffy magical fate herding kitty cat. I love him too.
All right. Any thoughts and theories for where this thing's going?
She's definitely Elowen. Definitely Elowen.
Yes.
I think it would be super fun. We talked about this briefly. If like the Fate Herder became kind of like her pet and it's like always follows her around. I think that would be super sweet. And she just like has it as a pet from now on. I think we are gonna get a lot more memory stuff once like the whole battle thing kind of calms down a little bit and we learn whatever's gonna happen with her and Khan. I do think they're gonna maybe stay there for a little bit. And maybe it's something where she even has an interaction or some interactions with either like Soul, whoever Soul is, if it's not the milky-eyed lady. But maybe if she does have some interactions with the milky-eyed lady and does some like prophecy stuff, memory, whatever, and we get some more.
It's a technical term.
I'm a mime.
I know, you keep doing this with your hands. I keep
Sorry,
doing
I
it
know.
too. Every time you do. Sorry.
So I could see that happening. I feel like the more I think about it, I guess he has said that he's a king. Like Con said, like in the cell, that he was a king, or she asked him like, who died and made you king? And he said, my pa. I feel like it would be weird if he's the king of the burn, because he's still only a double bead. He's not a tri-bead. So like, how would he have come to be king? So I feel like maybe he's a king in a different sense. I don't know. I'm still mulling that over a little bit.
Wasn't it confirmed that he is king of the burn?
Was it?
One of those
Earlier,
people
I thought.
called him sire. And so I think she just.
Well, it
took
was
that as
in
his
her
king or
POV
whatever.
once. Yeah, I thought it was in her POV once too that she listed out like the king of each place because they're all brothers, and then it was like this one was the ruthless.
Well, yeah,
whatever.
I guess that's true. That's still interesting to me, though. I mean, I guess if he killed his own dad, then he was the one that was like, sent him to the Joko clan and was like, you can't be king, but you can do this to earn my respect. And if he killed him, then like, well, now he can be king if he wants to. So maybe that was like some series of events there, and he became king after that happened. But yeah. That's kind of all I got.
Okay.
Con, anything on your end?
Yeah, my overall thoughts right now is I'm pretty certain this is going to be my top read of 2025. That's
Whoa, big statement.
currently one of my thoughts. But I think that doing my first read on the podcast has just helped me enjoy it so much more because I really get to take my time to like understand everything as we go as much as I can. And this is also the first time that Jon and I have been first time readers on something together in 2 years. This is like, I think this is only the second thing we've ever read together as like first time readers. And when we did that before, it was like prior to Bookstagram and like all the crazy stuff we do now. So we were having a lot of fun reading together, but not theorizing like crazy and having all these conversations. So I'm really enjoying like being able to talk about it with Jon as we go, and then also talking about it here and just like really taking my time, because I think the writing style of this book specifically, it seems like it helps a lot if you can go slow and just kind of take it all in and absorb it. So it's been so fun. I just love it so much, and I'm so affected by her writing. It's totally my jam. For theories, there's so much happening now. I don't know. Rave being Elowen is firmly in my headcanon, so I'm not even going to call that a theory. It's calcified. But I feel very vindicated over Hayes Perch. And Jon totally, thank you. And Jon totally called Con and Elowen being in love. So those are both exciting and also devastating to read in this section. But things just changed so much in these last few chapters that I don't even know what to theorize about right now. I am really curious to see what Con says about Rave being Kolu. Like if that was something he knew about, or if this was like a shock to him, or if he would have thought it was her or something. I also really want another chapter with the other, just because I want more information and I'm dying to know what's going on with Elowen. There's a lot. And so I'm excited to read the next section and see. I don't know that this would happen in the next section, but I'm like excited for the storylines to start colliding a little bit more. But I'm also just sad that we're already halfway through the book because I don't want it to end. I love it so much.
No, we're halfway. And we just found out that the second book got pushed back to April. So we have to wait even longer for book 2.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
All right, that takes us to the cry counter. And I don't think anyone's cried this episode. So that is still a 1 for me and 2 for Con. Our current reigning champ, still in the lead now for the second book in a row. I'm so proud of you. Can't wait.
Thanks.
Well, somebody pour me a glass of water or snake venom antidote, because that was a bit spicy. And next week, we're charging headfirst into chapters 42 to 59, so sharpen your theories. If you want to scream, cry, or aggressively wave your arms like a Muppet about your favorite characters with us, then you gotta jump onto our Discord with neatly organized, spoiler-free and spoiler-filled threads, so you can safely chat and theorize no matter when you listen. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and for even more bookish nonsense, behind-the-scenes shenanigans, podcast updates, questionable memes, and merch drops. Because just like Aerosmith, you don't want to miss a thing.
I really wanted you to sing that.
I did too.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
Still hot and bothered after that chapter chunk? Same here. Cool down with us over at BetweenPagesAndFriends.com. Join our Patreon, and don't forget to join our newsletter for all the news and updates. Till then, stay wordy, stay nerdy, don't stress, and stay blessed.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Calcified.
Bye.
Calcify, calcify, calcify.
Throw it up.